Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast. We're sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Goebel Septic, and Americool Heating and Cooling. I'm Aaron Van Tile, joined by the Chronicle sports crew. We've got the whole gang in here today. Dylan Wilhelm, Zach Martin, Cody Christian. And the postseason is in full swing. The volleyball state tournaments are complete. We've reached the Final Four in soccer. And we're now in the quarterfinals in football. We'll start on the gridiron, where 5 of our 6 teams that we're playing this week won and advanced to the round of 8. Is that where we're at?
Yes.
All right. Well, before that, how are you guys doing? How is everybody?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good.
Thanks for checking in, Aaron.
Yeah, it's just nice to see you guys.
Yeah, you too, man.
You too, buddy.
Getting dark a little early, but, other than that.
Cody, do you want to talk
I'm
about
stressed.
cyclones?
I was about to bring it up. I'm stressing about this bomb cyclone.
Oh my
man.
God, you're all pansies.
A little worried.
Oh, yeah.
The 40 mile per hour
King
winds.
five,
are
so
gonna
there's going to be
Wow.
40 mile an hour winds, man.
Jesus.
They could knock a branch on my roof or something.
We don't have to do the roof doctor hat on this
I wasn't
one.
trying to. I was just legitimate concern.
I like how Zach is like, tornadoes, whatever, and then like at the first hint of a flood, he's going to be like, oh my God.
I've seen flooding too. Flood happens in Iowa.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Might
does
drop
the
a tree on
tornado
my-
knock the wind out of the river?
Yes.
It might drop a tree on my porta potty. Then what?
Hold that thought. We'll get to Goebel later. No.
All right. It's good to have you guys here. But anyway, we're starting with WFS to Tumwater, which, surprise, surprise, both won blowouts in their opening state 2A playoff games. WFS handled Olympic 33-7. Gage Brumfield had nearly 250 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. Tucker Land added 156 total yards and 2 touchdowns, and Zach was there.
I was indeed. Very non-WF West type game in terms of they controlled the clock. Their first drive was 14 or 15 plays, took 7 minutes off the clock. Second drive, the same, 14 or 15 plays, 7 minutes off the clock. Weather played a factor into what Dan Hill wanted to do offensively, so the game script kind of changed a little bit. But chunk yardage from Tucker Land, Gage Brumfield really sealed the deal, and their defense continued their exceptional play. It was just a workman-like type game for WF West, different way than they've won all year long, and that's what you want to see from a top 8 team is you can win in a variety of ways in the playoffs, and that's exactly what they did.
All right, and then Tumwater beat Cedar Crest 44-0. Does Tumwater win in a variety of ways, or did they just kind of win in one way?
They mostly win the same way.
All right.
The defense and special teams just also happened to score.
Oh, well, that's a nice
last
little
week.
bonus round. Finally, something goes right.
They blocked a punt. I guess it was both special teams technically. They blocked a punt, and it was one of those where like the ball's at the 1 yard line, and it's like a cartoonish amount of linemen trying to recover a fumble.
Yeah.
And it gets bounced out of the back of the end zone, and it's like, oh, shoot, we should have had 7 there. And then they return the free kick for a touchdown anyway. After the first couple drives in which they weren't doing anything offensively, it was just that kind of day. I mean, Tumwater's just done this all year where they just kick the crap out of teams. Yeah.
It was a slow start, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, for 2 drives, they didn't score a point, and
Yeah.
for like 4.5 minutes, it was like, hey, maybe this team can hang, and then they couldn't.
Tumwater did have 5 rushing touchdowns, a safety, and a free kick return after the safety, which Dylan just mentioned. So, yeah, more of the same for Tumwater. This podcast brought to you, as Cody so kindly mentioned, by Goebel Septic, providing septic service and portable sanitation for Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, Grays Harbor counties. Maybe your home gets in a bit of trouble. The storm coming. We're posting this Wednesday, but the storm is happening tonight, Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. And your bathroom gets wiped out. What could be worse? Well, Goebel Septic can help. They will come bring you a portable
new bathroom,
a whole new bathroom, and they'll clean out your grease trap too. Providing
Very
septic
important.
pumping, inspection, and riser installation, commercial septic pumping and grease trap services, and like we mentioned, they'll rent you a porta potty and a sink to go with it, so you can stay clean, even if
The
you're
bomb
in a temporary
cyclone comes
situation. Yeah.
Aaron, what if I told you I filed a story from a Goebel Septic porta potty?
I would say, wow, what were you doing in a Goebel Septic
I would
porta
say,
potty
wow,
at
you did
3
not
in the
need to
morning?
tell us that. Zach
Did
left
they have them unlocked that early in the morning?
Zach
Always.
left a bomb cyclone in that.
Visit Goebel Septic, that's Goebel Septic.com, or call them at 360-736-2167. Let's move to the 2Bs.
I don't remember leaving the ad read that early, but yeah.
We'll start with the blowouts. Onalaska beat Newport 60-8. Onalaska scored 30 in the first quarter, 24 in the second.
Does anyone know where Newport is?
Yeah, it is. It's like as far northeast in Washington as you can get.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like
they had
right
to drive
on the Idaho
over.
border.
So
they had to
there's
drive
not-
over 6 hours just to give up a 60 piece.
So there's no port.
Well, it's on
Newport.
like a river.
Oh, okay.
There's rivers
But
everywhere.
it could be an old port.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
So
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's up kind of by like Priest Lake. Anyway, the Loggers finished day with 547 total yards. Rodrigo Rodriguez had 214 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground. Blades Underhill had 146 yards and 2 scores. Sam Pencook had 82 yards and a touchdown. Zach, is Onalaska looking strong? Or are they looking weak?
They're not looking like scumbags.
I don't know. Opinions vary.
Wow, Newport coaches sure said they look like
Well,
scumbags.
they had a long drive there and a long drive back.
and
they
then
had
lost by
their
50. Yeah.
Well, play
Well-
better. Don't turn your gear in. Play better. That's all I got to say.
Fair enough.
They it feels like they've been peaking really since they lost in Nooksack Valley in week 1. It's like just a continuation of getting better each week.
I don't think you understand how peaks work.
I think I do.
Well, they haven't summited yet.
I,
They keep winning.
just because you're going uphill doesn't mean you're peaking.
You're gonna peak eventually.
Anyway,
This was the first time they've allowed any type of points to a 2B team since week 3 against Mossy Rock. Like that's pretty impressive. I mean, there's no secrets of what they do. They'll run it down your throat until you can't stop it. And even if you do stop it, they're going to still run it down your throat. So
They did throw a couple passes that game. I was there for the first half.
passes.
There was a touchdown
Were they-
pass.
There was
Were
there was
they
one
pop passes?
actual touchdown pass, and then
Rodrigo
one.
Rodriguez,
There was
yeah.
one actual touchdown pass, and
There
then
was an
one that
attempted
was a
PAT.
pass.
That was
Yeah, but they're playing as well as you want to at this time of year. There's not really much else to say. As long as if they keep rolling, they're gonna win this week and could get to Husky Stadium.
all right. Elsewhere in the 2Bs, Napavine took care of Columbia Burbank 52-0. Colin Shields had 6 touchdowns, including a pick 6 just before halftime. Saw some pictures of the Shields boy. That's a strapping fella.
He's a state qualifier in the shot put and discus too.
Yeah, there you go. Dylan was there, but I will pose the question to the group first. Did these results give you more hope for a potential Napavine-Onalaska state title matchup?
Yes.
Yes. I think the only thing standing in the way of that matchup is Okanagan.
I don't even think Okanagan's going to stand in the way. As soon as the bracket came out, I said this was the matchup.
That's someone who has never seen
Man,
Okanagan play football.
Let me tell you about Okanagan and
Yeah.
that Josh Allen-ass quarterback they have over there.
I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, they
Oh.
didn't lose a
They
single
didn't lose
starter.
anyone from last
No
year.
no one, Aaron.
I've seen a lot of good football.
Let me tell you about Okanagan, Zach.
Never seen
man.
Cody
As
like this
soon as
before.
the bracket
I've never seen
came,
a 2B football team like that before.
as soon as the bracket came out, I said this will be our state title game.
All right.
So
I'm also more convinced.
Wait, what will be our state title game?
Napavine Ani.
Okay.
I'm also like when the brackets first came out, I had a little pause about that potentially being it and we were sitting here saying like, what do we know about number 2 Asotin? Besides that, it's basically Idaho. And then they come out and barely get past number 15 Cle-Elum Roslyn. They had to score in the final couple minutes just to beat the 15. Now they got to get through the 10. We'll talk about that game a little bit
Who did
later.
Cle-Elum Roslyn play in the regular season from over here? That
I have no idea.
They played
play
Adna,
Adna?
right? Yeah, they played
Oh,
Adna.
yeah.
Adna killed them.
And so if Napavine gets to that Asotin game, I'm more confident now that they would actually beat Asotin now that we know a little bit more about Asotin from what we've seen.
I said this before we started the podcast. I'll say it again. I think Asotin is the biggest fraudulent team in this tournament. I thought from the beginning that they're not as good as their record states, and looking at their schedule, they've barely beat a bunch of really not great teams. And I think they should not be ranked that high. It's gonna
Oh, yeah?
be proven.
You
And
going to put your money where your mouth is on the
I
grid
did pick them this
board?
week against
you know who's not a fraud?
But LaSalle is the 10, and I also looked at LaSalle's schedule, and they haven't played anyone either. So
You sure it's not LaSalle?
I think it's LaSalle. I don't know.
I don't think
You know who's
If
not a
you-
fraud, Cody?
Who's not a fraud?
Okanagan.
Okanagan is the least fraudulent
That would
team.
take Ani's best game of the year.
Yeah. It's
But
true.
anyways.
It would take a damn good game from Okanagan too, though. Ani is a solid team. We're not trying to down talk on Alaska here.
No.
Both solid football teams.
I don't know if I could word this the way I want to. I'm more confident in Napavine reaching the state title game because, I mean, obviously Napavine won by 50 plus, but also from what I saw out of Asotin. But what I've seen from Ani over the last 2 months, and just, you know, you could easily argue that they're underseeded. That matchup against Okanagan easily could have been a potential state title match had the seeds been different.
All right. But before Napavine could think of a semifinal match, the Tigers will have to get through Adna, the darlings of the bracket right now. They went on the road and upset number 6 Liberty Bell 8-3.
They played
That
baseball.
eight is a safety and a touchdown. No 2 points.
I saw the
in the
early
snow.
tweet from Zach on whatever Friday night or whatever that was. It's like the Adna Liberty Bell game. Liberty Bell leads Adna 3-2, and I was like, "Shut the hell up! What are you talking about?"
3-2.
No, it doesn't.
It prompted field
this
goal in
soccer?
the first quarter and a safety in the second quarter.
Somebody asked on Twitter, they were like, is it like snowing or is it just really
No,
good?
it was
that kind of game.
It was a beautiful. Cochran said it was a beautiful day, and it was.
I don't know. I
just,
saw the pictures. It looked like there was dust in the air or something, or they were playing on like a
Murky.
like the field that the bad team in town plays on in a movie where there's a really good team and a really bad team, like the East Dillon Panthers played in Friday Night Lights. Like they looked like their field that they were playing on. I don't know where that game was, but
It did snow though, right?
it looked dusty.
I forgot where that game was.
It was in. It was all the way up in Winthrop.
Oh, it was at Liberty
Yeah,
Bell,
it
wasn't
Oh,
was
it?
at
they,
Liberty Bell.
they had to go all the way up there.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
had all
think
the
they
way up
made-
Just
there.
like close the road.
I don't
the next
think
day?
I don't
Yeah,
think
they
they
did.
made
Yeah,
it back.
They
they
didn't
could
make
not
it
get over
the
the
night
pass
of.
the next
Yeah.
day. Cochran called me while they were in Ellensburg, so they could not get over the pass.
Wow. All right. So anyway, the only points in the game were off a field goal to safety prior to Bo Miller's touchdown run late in the fourth quarter. Zach talked to Cochran after the game, and what did Cochran have to say? Was he happy?
His first thing was, I've got shit for stats. And I said, that's fine, Aaron. All I need to know is who scored the touchdown and who sealed the game with the pick. And it was 2 minutes, 12 seconds left with Bo Miller's touchdown. And then Noah Helms got the game-sealing pick in the
Big
fourth
man.
quarter.
Big Noah.
So
So
it was,
Speaking
That-
of Mike, Zach.
sorry, I'm being Cody.
Ha!
Definitely not
did the
your
thing.
definitely not your traditional type game, but in the playoffs, style points do not matter, and Adna now gets a rematch with Napavine.
And they played them closer.
Ooh, yeah.
For some reason, I was just assuming the regular season game was not as close as it was. What was the regular season?
27-13.
as history would have it, normally. It is.
Recent history, yes.
But Beckett Landrum and Caleb Von Preston did not play in that first matchup. They are both back and healthy and productive.
Okay.
I told Dylan this earlier. I said that game was the turning point of both team seasons, in my opinion. Like from that game, Adna has played its best football, and from that game, Napavine has gotten healthier and has played their best
Yeah,
football.
it's like for that game, it was like it made Adna realize like they can kind of compete with anyone, and I think it made Napavine realize they needed to kind of turn it up.
They can't just cruise.
It's kind
this
of a
year like
wake-up
the last
call,
couple
yeah.
years to Husky Stadium.
Yeah, it's
or
definitely
Harry
been
Lang or
beneficial for
wherever.
both teams.
All right. We did have to say goodbye to one of our area teams this past weekend. Toledo lost a heartbreaker 13-10 against Tri-Cities Prep. The Jaguars scored on a 1-yard rushing touchdown as time expired to advance. Do you guys have anything nice to say about Toledo?
They're going to be
It's a
good
great
again.
year.
They'll be good again next year.
Definitely have
They
nothing
lose.
nice to say about Tri-Cities Prep. To tell you that.
Yeah,
Our
someone's
resident-
still salty.
Resident Adna 2023 baseball runner-up or over here.
Yeah.
Old wounds.
Also lost on a walk off to TCP.
As time expired.
As time expired.
As time expired on my high school sports career.
It was a good run.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to make it all about me.
No, but Eli
Cody
Weeks.
in the dugout watching it all happen. No!
Exactly.
In the tuck.
Exactly.
Eli Weeks will be back. Christensen will be back. This is the first time in however what 9 years
yeah,
that they haven't even made the
How many senior
Quarterfinals.
cores?
They'll be fine.
What was their senior core like? They have a lot of senior.
Leland McCree is probably their biggest senior, and he got hurt at the end of he got hurt against Tootle Lake, and that it didn't alter probably their expectations, but it definitely shifted some things like in how they protect and what they do defensively. But Eli Weeks will be back. Trevin Gale will be back. I believe Nathan Beaver and Carter Swafford will also be back. So I think they're going to be next year is probably the year because you've got your third year with Weeks as your starting quarterback. You're trying your best to like use his skill set to the best of your advantage. Like if next year is the year to do something, I think this year probably just ended a little sooner than they were expecting because Christensen, like Dylan said, has just been a consistent getting to the final eight.
And he's done that without, I don't want to say without consistent quarterback play because the quarterbacks they have had over the last decade have been solid. But Eli Weeks, this past year, it was the first time that Christensen had the same day one starter from one year to another in like 5 or 6 years, if I remember correctly. They were just kind of rotating upperclassmen throughout. And if Weeks can take that next step again at 2B, if you have a QB like that, that'll take you far.
All right, let's take a quick look at our local quarterfinals. WF West and Franklin Pierce. Guys, give me the rundown.
Kerry Nagel, Franklin Pierce OC. He was at Franklin Pierce for a bit before Tenino. Got back to Tacoma, and that offense, the TNT's done features on it. It's exactly what you expect. The power T that he used to run at Tenino, they're scoring 50-plus points a game. They've put up 60-plus multiple times. We've seen WF West face a somewhat similar offense in Tumwater. They're going to need a much better performance. I'll just put it that way than what they did against Tumwater.
And Kent, do you think they'll get that performance? What are you guys' predictions for this one?
I think they will. I've got WF West winning 27-21. Low scoring. I think it's going to be very low scoring.
If WF West wins, they're going to have to put up 40-plus at least.
The teams on that side, the teams on that, like that side, they don't, like out in Tacoma, they don't see that type of style. Tumwater does, even though it's only once, Tumwater does, or WF West does, and I think they're going to be better prepared for it.
What kind of style do you mean?
Like the run first option.
Okay, yeah.
Like, because what Dan Hill told me after the quarterfinal game was that week against Tumwater, they over-prepped their guys. Like, they threw way too much at them, and it backfired. And the big thing he told me this week is they are simplifying everything. They know exactly who the ball is going to, and they just need to stop one person. And as long as they do their job, they have confidence that they can win. And if the weather plays better, I think it favors WF West.
Who's that one guy they have to stop?
I think he's a running back. I got to double check his name, but he's got like, I think 15 to 1,700 yards, somewhere around that range.
It's not bad. All right, and then on Saturday, Tumwater will host number 9 Seahome. Thoughts?
My cousin goes to
Is
Seahome.
this where it all goes?
Sounds fake.
It's up near Bellingham.
It's like FCS West.
Is this where it all goes downhill for Tumwater?
No.
No.
Okay. And then we'll have a 2B doubleheader at Tiger Stadium right here in Centralia. This is Saturday?
Yes.
Saturday.
On Alaska, we'll face number 5 Freeman, the Scotties. Napavine will play Adna. Napavine number 3. What was Adna? Number 11?
11,
yeah. They
And
might have been underseeded.
We still don't have a name for the rivalry yet, do we?
No, there's never been
Napavine.
a name for that one.
Faye, I asked about, looking ahead to face Adna, and he's like, kind of sucks that we have to face them in a quarterfinal. He's like, I hate to see our own teams cannibalizing each other, but, it'll be a battle.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
All right. Any predictions for either of those?
I think Ani can handle Freeman. Should handle Freeman.
I think Ani wins by 3
Napavine.
scores. And I got Napavine. It's close for a half, and then Napavine wins by 2. But I think they win by a similar margin. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. So I think Adna's playing a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I would give Napavine just the edge on experience. Their players have all been in these games before.
Yeah.
Whereas Adna's a little bit fresh for them. All right. This podcast brought to you by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery.
Vantile, what if I told you I filed a story from the sleeping center at Elam's Home Furnishing and Mattress Gallery?
You have never filed a story during business hours of anything, so
How do you
I
know?
would not believe you.
The time is on the list.
Yeah.
Who said he was there during business hours?
Right.
Or legally.
You don't know. You don't know. Who
You
I
know about the backside entrance to...
Do you guys want to hear some reviews from Elam's Home Furnishings and Sleep Center? Somebody named E Burger. This sounds fake. Electronic Burger Recently, we needed furniture for 2 apartments, very last minute, unexpected. We decided to go back to Elam's as we bought furniture for them 10 years ago, and we were happy with it. We like to support local businesses in the world of online shopping. God, this guy wrote a novel. But anyway,
Maybe that's his
they have
pen
an
name.
amazing ability to plot out and visualize how things will look in the space of the room, and we really needed that. They've been super accommodating and even offered to send us a temporary console to put our TV on, since the one we ordered will take a couple extra weeks to arrive from the rest of the things. I can't say enough good things about Elam's. They've only gotten better over the last 10 years. E-Burger would never lie to you guys.
Isn't that the same name of the one reviewer for The Roof Doctor?
No, that's
something like-
E-Braun.
Oh.
E-Burger.
Ebron James.
E-Burger sounds like a resident of Ellensburg.
Could be. Anyway, if you'd like to get the same high-class level of service, visit Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia. Check them out online, elamshf.com. Now we turn our gaze towards Yakima, the Palm Springs of Washington, where you guys were both over there.
Yeah.
How was your stay?
Me and my girlfriend, after it was all said and done, we had a nice, lovely date at Texas Roadhouse.
In Yakima?
Yeah.
They have
Something
one?
about that dome makes people gives me a headache. The Tumwater coach, she called me and she's like, "Yeah, I feel sick." I was like, "It's because we were in that dome all day."
It's probably because you
I
all
think
went
it's just
to eat
because
at,
you were in Yakima.
you just went. Everybody goes over there and they're like, "Oh man, I got to go eat at Miners," and they're like, "Oh, I feel like shit. I wonder why."
Mm-hmm.
We didn't eat at Miners. We ate
To
Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob's is fine.
Yeah, it was delicious. Miners is still better, but
No, it's not.
okay.
I disagree as well.
Adna was the
Y'all are-
best
y'all are
2B volleyball
morons.
team all season, and they made it all the way to the state championship game before falling to Manson in 3. That was their first loss of the season, wasn't it?
It was.
Ah, it's too bad. They had a
First
good
time
year, though.
they've been swept in 2 years.
Your mic's cutting out. Jiggle the thing. Try that.
Testing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't
first,
touch it anymore.
First time they've been swept since I can't remember who it was against,
Was
but
it Kalama? Probably?
yeah, Kalama in the district tournament 2 years ago was the last time they were swept. So it's been
Okay.
a while.
Well, what did Wendy have to say about the players?
She was very emotional talking about the senior class. Kendall Humphrey, Jaylee Humphrey, Carson Freeman, Gabby Gard,
Danica Hallam. And Ava Sims.
and yeah, she
Is that all 6? Do we get all 6?
yeah, that's all
Yeah.
6.
Yes.
She had seen them since they were 4th grade, and she knew they were going to be really good in high school or in high school, and to see them grow and get better, like she was very emotional about it. And then to add Carson, when she transferred from Raymond South Bend 2 years ago, she said it was the cherry on top. She really wanted to see that class win a state championship. But it was their first state championship game in school history. First time they'd been even in the semis in 13 years. So that team definitely has nothing to hang their heads about. Manson just played better. Their short serves were elite. They found the holes in where Adna was placing in their zones. Stella Peterson, back row, front row, it didn't matter. And Adna did not see a whole lot of attackers, put up hitting attempts from the back row, and that definitely flustered them a little bit. So they just could never get into their flow and their rhythm. They were all tournament long and really all season long.
I've never seen a defense handle Carson Freeman the way their defense. Every spike that would be an easy kill against any District 4 team was just getting
At least
I don't know,
touched.
eaten, swallowed. It was just a perfect bump, and then Stella, if they get a good set to her, it's
Yeah.
it was wild to see.
Manson's block was probably the best block that Adna had faced all year. And they met in the regular season, and Adna won in 5 sets. Wendy told me that Manson was missing one of their players that game, and it clearly was enough to make a difference to win in 3.
All right, Rainier was our next highest finisher. The Mountaineers went 3-1 to finish 5th. It was their second straight top 5 finish. Thoughts on Rainier?
Good season. Very good season. It's not easy to lose a quarterfinal game and then turn around and play at 8 a.m. the next morning and win twice to finish with a placement. But they were seeded 6th. They finished 5th. So it's a good season for them. 2 of their seniors, Janesse Blackburn, or they've got a handful of seniors, Janesse Blackburn, Acacia Murphy, Brooklyn Swenson, Annabelle Whiteman, and I think there's one more. I think there's 4 or 5. Though those are going to be myths because it's 3 really good hitters and a setter. So that's going to have to be an adjustment. But they should be really good defensively, and their passing should be really good next year.
Yeah, how about the job Kerry Ooms has done in just 3 years, I believe, because they made it in 21. They kind of went on a Cinderella run, through districts, and they got the 16, went 2 and out. And I think prior to that, the WIA had it as just 97 the last time they made it, and they also didn't place. And then Kerry Ooms comes in. They don't make it the first year. They get there last year, her second year. They upset Adna, make it to the semis, and then this year, another top 5 finish. It's probably the 2 best seasons, I think, easily in Rainier volleyball history. And like Zach just said, they got some talent to replace, but I trust Ooms at this point that she'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Mossy Rock won its first match. Then they lost 2 straight. They came up just the game short of the 5th, 6th match. First time in about a decade that they didn't finish in the top 3.
Yeah, first time since 2008 they haven't placed at all in the year that they've made a state tournament. They've only missed a state tournament since 2008. They've missed it once, and every other year they have at least placed. And this is the first time since 08 that they have not placed at all. So it's unfamiliar. It was unfamiliar territory to them to not place top 3, let alone place at all.
All right. How do we feel about Mossy Rock going forward?
They'll be fine.
Should be good. I think Aaron Cornier's coming back.
No, Cornier's
Or
a
is she
senior.
going? Okay. Well, they have
Cornier's a
another
senior.
Cornier coming up. Kendall Cornier's.
And then Chesney Schultz has graduated. She's got a younger sister that played. I think Taylor Schwartz is a junior. I think she might be back.
Addison Barrows should also be back.
Yes,
I
Addison
believe.
Barrows will be back. They'll be very good. I feel like a lot of these teams are going to be really they don't lose. Next year C2BL's gone a lot of hitting, but a lot of the passing and a lot of the defense is going to be back. So it'll be interesting to see who steps up as one of the better hitters outside of probably the best hitter next year is probably going to be Emily Jacoby from Onalaska. She'll probably be the best. She's probably the best hitter coming back.
And then team-wise, that's our top 3 from this past year. Adna, Rainier, and Mossy finished. Well, I guess Mossy was 2, but you get the point. Those are the top 3 teams. They all have to replace talent. I'm sure they'll be fine, but it kind of just opens the door, for some of these teams in the middle of the pack. We could see more of a cluster as opposed to this past year where it was pretty clear.
All right. And the 1Bs, PL lost the loser-out match Wednesday morning against Soap Lake. They went in it. They were like were they the 20
They were the
seed?
20.
Yeah,
Cool of them to make it, though.
Yeah, but it's a joke.
What?
I'm sorry. You cannot sit there and tell me that 20 teams in Class 1B deserve to go to a state tournament.
Well, do you want to tell them to their face that they don't deserve to be there?
They base it off how many schools
Goddamn
there are.
Grinch.
I don't.
It's like
Look,
less than a fifth of the schools.
It sucks that PL got there. They deserved it, but I'm sorry. There just should not be 20. There should not be. No, there should not be 20 teams in a state tournament. I don't care if it's any of our locals or not. There should not be 20 teams in a state tournament.
Okay.
It does suck that they make them get up at 8 in the morning and it's a loser out match. And it's like,
Yeah,
all right,
like,
you're
what-
going to be home by 2 probably.
What's the
Yeah,
point?
you'll get there for the 6th period.
Right, like it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. There should not be 20 teams in a
Jeez.
state tournament.
Anyway, in the 2As, Tumwater went 1-2 to finish a game shy of the 5th, 6th match. They lost to Ridgefield in 5 in their final match.
Yeah, it was exactly what happened last year. Their enter is the 7. They take care of the 10. They lose to the 2 seed that goes on to finish 3rd, and they lose in the game to get to the 5th, 6th match. Last year it was number 3 Ellensburg, which was upset in the quarters, and this year it was number 6 Ridgefield, which the WIA finally figured it out. They said, how do we make sure Columbia River and Ridgefield don't meet in the state championship game? Let's
Play
make
them
them meet in the quarters. Let's underseed both of them. You'll never guess who won it all.
Columbia River.
Oh my goodness, what a shocker. Turned, oh my, wow.
Her 4th in a row.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Ridgefield finished 6th. So, but talking to Molly, I'm not going to lie, Molly, I forgot how to pronounce your name. I'm not even going to try. I apologize. She was saying, we come in as 7 and they don't leave with a trophy, but she was basically just saying it still feels like an appropriate, they'll leave feeling like the 7th best, even though they didn't win a trophy because of the way the brackets shape out. But, Ridgefield goes on to finish 6th. Chief South, who they swept in the first round, goes on to finish 7th. They won 3 straight. So, it sucks not to come back with a trophy, but they're certainly holding their heads high.
All 4 of their girls that were on first team All FCO are juniors, so all of them will be back. So they're going to be just as good next year.
Fine. Yeah.
All right. This podcast is brought to you by Americool Heating and Air Conditioning. Zach, do you want to tell me how you wrote a story?
Yeah, did you know that I filed a story from the Americool Heating and Cooling van, Aaron?
Did
you know that?
Believe you.
Okay.
If you're either too hot,
they are everywhere. So
you see them around. Them and Goebel Septic. If you're either too hot,
what are you laughing at?
too cold, it's just the clatter threw me off. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Good try, Cody.
Visit west.americoolonline.com. Your comfort is their business. Americool provides full service HVAC installation, services, and repair with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do. Visit them online to request service or get an estimate. And if you have an emergency, you can call them. Their 24/7 emergency service line. I'm not going to give you the number. You got to pull that one up on the website yourself. Because if it's an emergency and you're still listening to this podcast, your priorities are incredible.
We're happy to be your comfort.
It's 669-2415. All right, we're going to finish up with recaps for soccer, where 4 area teams made and then exited the state tournament.
One team won a game.
Okay. Are they still in it?
We'll start with them. No.
Okay. Napavine was the only team to win its first-round matchup. Hannafay scored twice in the final 10 minutes to lift the Tigers to a 2-1 win over Okanagan. Dylan was there. He talked to Faye and John Bates.
So it was not 1-0 in 70 minutes. It was actually 0-0. Faye scores, and it's like, oh, Napavine, like they finally got on the board and they're going to win. And then they give up a goal 2 minutes later. And then Faye scores again. Bates, after I'll start with him, former Kalama coach, won at least one state title there. It's like, yeah, I'm not used to these close games. We just kind of would roll always, winning big at Kalama. And I go, it's more fun this way though, right? He goes, I got a few more gray hairs, but yeah, it's pretty fun, I guess. Happy for the girls.
That's not what he sounds like, Dylan.
I'm not. Should I try?
No.
Don't. I don't think I should try.
Don't.
No.
Go on, do the thing.
Oh, wait, no. Be better.
Crikey.
What are we doing? And then Faye, she explained both of her goals were very similar. It was literally just a through ball, and Faye outran a defender and beat a charging keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of chipped it past. The second chip was much slower in the first, and it actually looked like a second defender was going to come up and clear it. That defender just straight up whiffed. I don't know if she would have cleared it anyway, but she didn't make it close because she missed the ball. But anyways, Faye, she kind of explained how they, they're pushing. They finally get the one, and then they kind of just emotionally let up, which you can't do in a state playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
But she was happy that, not just that she was the one to score both, but also to just get the win. It's their first state playoff win in 12 years. So,
Did you have any strong feelings about Okanagan?
not particularly.
Really?
I didn't ask.
I don't think Dylan even asked.
I mean, I know that, obviously Napavine and Okanagan play in the state tournament in every sports season, it feels like, but maybe I should have.
Yeah,
based off how
I would
last
have been
football
like,
season ended.
you're going to go tell your dad, like, huh?
I can beat Okanagan.
Not that tough, is it?
Okanagan's not for everybody.
No, I'm sure that wasn't discussed. And then, great win by them in that first one. And then the run ended a few days later in Spokane at Meade High School. Is that what it was?
Is Meade a city?
Union
Is it
Stadium.
Union?
Is Meade a city?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Meade's a high school because Pete Castor went to Meade High School. I don't think Meade is an actual town.
Well, they played it, but Union Stadium is that the stadium at Meade High School? Is it Union Stadium, or is it?
it's a suburb of Spokane.
It's like South Hill.
I don't. You know what? I don't recognize Meade. It's an unincorporated suburb. It's a census-designated area.
Isn't Adna unincorporated?
That's exactly what
we have a
is.
post office.
Yeah,
Isn't
thank you.
Iowa unincorporated?
Far from, actually.
Anyway, they lost to Northwest Christian 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Good run by Napavine, though. They had a good season.
Their best year
In
in a while. And
12 years, yeah.
And then Onalaska, Adna, and Toledo all lost in the first round. Onalaska lost to Highland 4-2. Adna lost to Mount Vernon Christian 2-0. And Toledo lost to Tenasket in penalty kicks.
There's your mascot that beats the Pirates, Mount Vernon Christian Hurricanes. That'll beat Pirates most times.
The Hurricanes are coming for us right now.
Do you think they would beat LaSalle?
They wouldn't beat the bomb Cyclones. That'd be pretty sweet. The Hurricanes beat
No,
the
but the
Lightning.
Hurricanes
Where do the
would
Camas
no,
paper
but the
makers fit
Hurricanes would
into
beat
this?
LaSalle. They wouldn't beat LaSalle. They'd beat LaSalle.
Depends on what kind of sale we're talking about, though.
A pirate sale.
What about like a Black Friday sale, though?
La sale.
La sale.
La sale.
Spanish for the sale.
Yeah.
Jordan helped us with the Toledo story, and I kind of just read through the first part, and the lead was essentially, it's the beautiful game, right? Soccer worldwide is known as the beautiful game.
Hey,
And then they lose in PKs, and Horst smelling out was like, it could also be the horrible game because, it just goes that way sometimes.
Yeah, PKs are a crapshoot.
All right. Let's take a look at
You'll never guess who 2 of the 4 semifinalists in 2A are.
Ridgefield and Columbia River.
Yeah.
That is pretty impressive. Anyway, they're still in it. Tumwater was in it, and then they're not anymore.
Tumwater didn't make it to state.
Oh, I'm thinking of volleyball.
Yeah.
All right.
Pick
Grid
your fall
picks.
girls sport. River and Ridgefield will be at the end.
Folks, it was with great embarrassment that I report I have fallen out of the grid picks lead.
To who? To who, Aaron?
Congratulations, Kody.
Yeah.
You are in first place.
It's the first time I've ever led grid picks in my career.
For now.
You have a 1 game
Again.
lead.
It took me until week 1 of the playoffs to climb my way back from my abysmal week 1 performance.
What did you get? Week 1 you went
6
and
and
7.
Yeah.
Christ.
I have learned much more about ball since then.
I'm glad you
I
know
have
ball now.
so much more ball
He's
knowledge
just started
now.
studying mascots and making his picks off
Yes.
that.
So Kody is
He
ahead
also
of the
just
board.
picked his Adna boys, and they came through for him.
They did
Yeah.
come through. I knew they were going to beat Liberty.
Will it balance out this week?
Cody
Stay
is
tuned.
105 and 25. I'm 104 and 26. Dylan's 101 and 29.
As
Zach
is
is
Ridley.
97 and 33. Ridley's also 101 and 29.
Finally caught up to Ridley.
So this week's games, up first, WF West is at Franklin Pierce. Zach has taken WF West. The rest of us have taken Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce has a pretty impressive resume.
Yeah, you mentioned the score prediction of 27-21. 2 teams have held Franklin Pierce under 40 all year, and it was 36 in both games.
I think it'll be low scoring. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'm usually more wrong than right.
Our power's starting to flicker.
Ooh.
No, that's just Zach not talking to the mic.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah,
bad.
there it is.
Ooh.
Ooh.
If the power cuts out, is the podcast just done for?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out.
Well, people, if it cuts
Should hit
off,
save on this.
then
huh?
it was because of the bomb cyclone.
Anyway, what do you? Would hit that one?
No. Never mind.
I don't know what button you want to push.
Never mind.
All right.
If the audio cuts out randomly, it means we lost power.
Yeah. Next up, number 9 Seom at number 1 Tumwater. Everybody took Tumwater. Number 5 Freeman at number 4 on Alaska. Everyone took on Alaska. Number 11 Adna versus number 3 Napavine. Everybody has taken Napavine except Kody.
Guess who?
How do you feel about that pick?
You know,
Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you got to go down with the pirate ship, man.
yeah, sometimes Captain goes down with his shit, man. You know? Hey, it worked out good for me last week picking Adna.
There's no shame in picking your boys. You know.
I know it's a long shot, but I gotta support my boys here. And yeah, you know, it's been a long time since Adna's beat Napavine, since 2018, I believe. And they played them pretty well earlier in the season. It was tied at halftime.
they did.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a higher chance of them upsetting Napavine now than there has been in the last probably 5 years.
Yep, I think you're right.
I think if it's ever been possible,
I think it's a ballsy pick, and
It's now.
you know what?
I think
applaud
it can
you for
happen.
Yeah, it
And
could
again,
happen.
as you guys said, Captain goes down with his ship, so we'll see.
All right, Gonzaga Prep versus Kennedy Catholic. Everybody took Kennedy Catholic.
This was a
Are
complete
Kennedys having a
yes.
moment? Is that what you're getting at? Number 8
Kennedys.
Kennewick at number 1 Bellevue. Everybody's taking Bellevue. It's fair.
I don't know who would pick Kennewick to beat Bellevue.
Who was it? Pete Castor and I were up at a game at the Tacoma Dome. We were covering the 2B championship game, and the 3A game was right after that. This was back in 2015, 16.
When was the
something like
last
that.
year of it being in the dome?
20.
It was in the dome in
19?
18.
18.
2018,
I don't know
I
about
think.
after that.
2018 was the last year, yeah.
So then 2019 and 2021 was at Lakewood, and then
Yeah, Harry Lang.
22 was at Lakewood too.
It's terrible.
for
Yeah, it was there for 3 years.
so last year was the first year Husky Stadium. Okay,
Bring back the dome,
Uh,
man.
But we were like, I think Bellevue was walking onto the field like as everybody else was walking off, and I think Miles Jack was playing for Bellevue back then. And he walked by and we're like, wow, that guy's enormous. I bet he's going to be really good at football. And it turned out he was pretty good.
I did not know Miles Jack went to Bellevue. You learn
Yep.
something new every day.
Yeah.
Paulo Banchero's brother is apparently killing it at O'Day too, I think.
Yeah, I didn't realize Paulo Banchero was a Seattle guy until like he was on the Magic. All right. Number 5, Archbishop Murphy versus number 4, Linden. Dylan's got A.T. Murphy.
This is a complete guess. I have no idea.
Yeah, same.
Every-
The winner of
else-
this gets Tumwater, most likely. So
Oof.
I took Linden just because I've seen Linden in so many playoff games that I'm not going to pick against him if I have the choice.
I feel like I went with that.
That's
same
kind of what I
logic.
went. Yeah.
Linden beat Archbishop Murphy 7-3 in their first meeting this season.
And there you have it. Why even play this one?
Yeah.
Nooksack Valley
All right, college
versus
football committee, let's calm down.
Nooksack Valley versus Casimir. Nooksack Valley's the 5, Casimir the 4. Where do we know where this one is? Wenatchee, probably.
No, I forgot.
Yeah,
Probably
actually, it is at the Apple,
Apple
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. So Zach took Nooksack Valley. Everybody else took Casimir.
It's 4-5. I just put them here so we
Yeah.
could have some differences and some coin flips.
All right. Number 10, LaSalle versus number 2, Asotin. Dylan took Asotin. Zach took Asotin. Kody, despite his earlier fraud accusations,
Also took a sub.
I think
calling Asotin.
Asotin, that doesn't mean LaSalle's not frauds. That's just I think Asotin is highly.
Is this the fraud bowl?
No, what I meant to say was I don't think LaSalle is as fraudulent because they have a low ranking, and I think they're just around in the same ballpark as Asotin, who's ranked number 2.
Well,
See what I'm saying? Aaron?
I took LaSalle. You know what? I felt like shaking things up.
Yeah,
So here we
you
are.
need it.
The
You
winner-
need it. You're losing.
The winner of this faces the winner of Adna Napavine.
Oh man,
Oh boy.
What if
Oh,
Adna
man.
wins? What if Adna gets to Husky
what if
Stadium?
Adna wins?
Adna
and
versus
LaSalle
LaSalle.
loses, and I go up by like 4 games on Aaron in the grid picks? That'd be crazy.
And
Yeah, crazy.
Actually, hear me out. Adna, Tri-Cities Prep, state football, state title.
Oh, are they in different brackets?
yeah, Tri-Cities Prep faces Okanagan this week.
Luke Money legacy game if that happens. What? Never just what?
Nothing. No. It's... And finally, Nia Bay and Almira Cooley Heartline. Dylan and Zach have gone Nia Bay.
Did you see what Wilbur Creston Keller did in the first round? Did you see how many points they put? They put up
probably like
94.
95. They put up 98 in a semi last year. I think, during a quarter.
94. What are we doing?
It's 1B.
God, I'm
That's
sad we don't have a
8-man
1B
football.
team. I'm sad we don't have an 8-man team left.
Yeah.
8-man playoffs is
Oakville?
built different.
Oh, left.
Left. Like in that
You
tournament.
two took Nia Bay. Cody and I have taken Almira Cooley Heartline. So
Complete guess. I have no
the
reason.
experts have this one.
I mean, there's no
Sure.
way they can beat 3 schools.
Your guess is
Come
good. That's fine.
on. Come on.
This
3
is also
schools.
a very long drive for Nia Bay.
Every drive
Every-
is a long
every-
drive for Nia.
Yeah,
What's-
but
what's
they're going to like the
How close is Forks? That's probably their closest.
Forks is like an hour away, isn't
Forks
it?
from Nia
So
Bay.
is
is like
anything
a
closer
half
than
hour
Forks to them?
probably.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
No, Nia Bay is the exact tip of the peninsula.
And Forks is 2B. They can't even play Forks.
So they can play
Unless they wanna
non-league
play
against
11.
Forks.
They probably do play a non-leaguer against Forks.
I was talking to a guy from Nia Bay in Spokane at basketball last year, and it was like 7 p.m. He's like, yeah, I have an 8-hour drive, and I'm not spending the night. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
sounds
it's an hour
horrible.
and 10 minutes from Forks to Nia Bay.
Damn.
Gross.
Where's this game at? Do we know?
I don't remember.
Probably like Tri-Cities. Let's see how far that is, just for the sake of it. I don't even know if that's. That would be like a 7 or 8 hour drive,
That sounds.
but it might be further than that. I
That
don't know
sounds.
where.
That sounds really fun.
I can't remember where. Oh no, it's probably up in.
Hold
closer
on.
to
I'm
Holy City.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up. Please pause.
Okay, I'll just pause the podcast.
Well, as you should.
So you can,
Because you
Google,
can do
like,
that, right?
map.
While you guys look that up, we were
It's
debating.
at it's up Moses. It's at Moses Lake.
Lions Covenant Field or whatever it is.
Yeah, Lions Field and
Lions-
Moses Lake.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, it's only a 6.5 hour drive.
Only 6.5 hours.
I really thought it'd be further than that.
Yeah. I was looking at the drive to Okanagan just in case Ani gets there next week, and it's like, 5 hours. But then if it's in Wenatchee, it's only like 3+.
Well, they wouldn't
So-
play it in Okanagan. They'd play
They
it in
played
Wenatchee.
at Wenatchee, yeah, which is nice.
All right. Where are you guys going this weekend?
I've got the doubleheader at Tiger Stadium.
I will take WF West on Friday and Tumwater Saturday in Tacoma and Tumwater.
I'll be at the doubleheader.
Where at in Tacoma is the WF West game?
It's
it's
at
like
Franklin
Parkland.
Pierce High School.
Oh,
If you get on 512 from I-5 North, it's like right off one of those exits.
All right. Anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap this up?
I'll be sending out basketball questionnaire or winter sports questionnaires tomorrow, and we'll have our first couple rounds of basketball previews coming up here shortly.
Oh, 'tis the season.
Basketball.
Any
tab.
way too early preseason? Who's your favorite to win a state title? Anything?
Lead pipe block basketball.
Yeah,
Go.
lead pipe lock.
We get one.
Yeah.
One.
WF West will finish top 5 in 2A girls.
Super hot take.
Okay.
Ooh, I forgot about WF West basketball.
Yeah, Dalen's still there. She's pretty good.
She is.
Added Riley Beebe, transfer from Tumwater.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, real one-sided rivalry between those two historically. All right, great. Do you guys have any hot takes about basketball you want to get off?
Not that I can think of.
No.
Still football season.
I haven't thought about basketball in a while.
The shift from postseason football to early season blowout non-league basketball games is always super fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like
50
think of
to
who it'll
12.
And then half
like-
our league games are going to be blowouts too. We love basketball.
Yeah, that first Castle Rock Centralia game's gonna hit hard. Can't wait.
Ooh.
All right, we're gonna wrap up there. We will talk to you next week when there are less football teams, or maybe the same amount. I don't know. We'll see what happens.